So now I've only met Michael Alter today for the first time, and admittedly the first time that I heard his name is when David Hirsch mentioned him as a potential speaker for the Rotary Club of Chicago. But after a quick Google search, I realized that I think everybody in this room feels his impact every day. So first, he's president of Alter Group, and you can read all of this in the gyrator. It's one of our country's largest private commercial real estate developers. And by the way, I would suggest looking up on their website their company history. I think they reflect the Rotary four-way test throughout their history. And I think it's a very interesting history. And you're going to see their developments everywhere around Chicago. You can walk around the city from Google headquarters to Salesforce to WeWork spaces and so forth. So you see their influence around the city. Also, for many years now, I've seen the logo of City Year Chicago everywhere, mostly on the shirts of young people walking around the city. And it always seemed to me like a very impressive program. Well, guess who founded it? So their signature program, the City Year Youth Service Corps, brings together about 1,000 people ranging from 17 to 24 from different backgrounds and puts them through full-time commitment of a year of community service, leadership development, and civic engagement. Sounds like something Rotary would do, right? So, and then of course, Chicago's very own WNBA team, which Michael founded as a way to encourage opportunities for young women here in Chicago in professional athletics and bring the city a WNBA team. So with that, I'd like to ask my fellow Rotarians to please welcome Michael Alter.
Okay. Well, first of all, welcome. Thank you all for having me. It's a real honor for me to be here. If you don't mind, I'm just going to stand here and talk on this mic. I'm not a speech moving guy. And also, I'd like to be as informal as you guys are comfortable being. I'm very comfortable with that, so feel free to raise your hand or interrupt me with questions you might have or things you want to talk about. I was asked here to just speak about the Chicago Sky, which I'm delighted to do, so that's what I'm going to focus on primarily. My one goal for being here is to, before I tell you that, my one goal being here is to get all of you to come to the Sky game at some point and check it out and experience it. I'm just sort of curious. I was going to ask you, how many of you have been to a Sky game before? I'm just curious. In the room? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So maybe a quarter. So I hope we'll see if I'm successful or not in getting on there. So I'm going to start out by, I want you to know that the Chicago Sky are the only Chicago professional team that is definitely going to be in the playoffs in 2019. We may have some possibility down the road, but we'll see. Right now we're in. So before I go on, though, I have a very short video that I want to show to give you a little excitement about our team.
I'm saying it. We're getting in the playoffs this year. We're getting in the playoffs this year. This is who we are. This is who we are. No. Keep it out.
Alright, so I'm going to start out just talk a little basketball, if you don't mind, because I like to. We've got a really exciting team, which you saw some of our young players, and we've got a really exciting team this year. We have 3 All-Stars, one really interesting, I think exciting, and neat thing about our team is 2 of those All-Stars are actually a married couple. We have our point guard who is being considered as She's probably when the time her career is done, will break most every record for assists in the league, and probably one of the top point guards that's ever played. And she's also in consideration for MVP of the year, named Scoring Madison, and she's just really dynamic and player. We have one of the best shooters in the league, who's a local girl from Joliet, went to DePaul, named Sally Quigley. She's won the three-point contest the last 2 out of the last 3 years, and is year after year the leading three-point shooter in the league. Is one of the quickest releases you'll see in NBA or WNBA. And she's a phenomenal player. And then our third All-Star is a young player, second-year player named Diamond Shields. Comes from a great athletic family. Her dad played on the Cubs. Remember him, played in Major League Baseball, and her brother is also in Major League Baseball, plays for the Texas Rangers. I think, if I get this right, I think they're the only family that had 3 first-round draft picks, if that's right. So the father, the son, and the daughter are all first-round picks. So that's pretty unique. We also have a first-year new head coach, who you saw briefly in the video there, James Wade, who's been an assistant coach for the last 6-7 years in the league, and he's new to us in Chicago, but just has been a tremendous leader for us, and really brought this team forward, which is why we're having the great success that we have. So we have 5 games left to go. We are in the playoffs for sure. Now it's a question of what our seeding's going to be, and we'll definitely have home court advantage in the playoffs, but we have a unique playoff format, which has its pros and cons. It's the first 2 rounds are single elimination, so it's pretty intense and very high stakes. And then the 3rd round and 4th round, semifinals and finals are best of 5. So being a high seed definitely has a much bigger weight than it might in other professional leagues because of that single elimination. So that's just a brief basketball story. We played at Wintrust Arena, as I should mention that. Wintrust, I assume most of you know, opened last year over by McCormick Place, brand new arena. We share with DePaul men's and women's basketball. It's their home and it's our home, and it's also used by McCormick Place for conventions, and they use for concerts and whatnot. If you haven't been there, it's another good reason to go to Sky Games. It's a great arena, very convenient, easy to get to. So a little history in terms of my involvement with the Sky and how I got to be here. I was an athlete way back in the day, a long time ago. Basketball I played as well as football, and for me, basketball was not only I love the game, but it was also a transformative life experience for me. I grew up in Wilmette, and a pretty middle class neighborhood, very sheltered community, and it was through basketball that I got to know my way around the city, got to communities that I otherwise would have never been to, met a whole bunch of diverse, interesting people, and it just broadened my horizons dramatically. And so for me, sports is always, as both individually but also as an observer, it's always appreciated the transformational power of sports. And even today, maybe more so today, I don't know. I mean, sports is still one of the few things that brings people together. We still live in a very segregated society, whether it's our city or country, and again, sports tends to break down those barriers. So when, so I've always had a deep interest in sports, but frankly, I was not a particular, wasn't a great fan. I mean, I don't know how many people are big sports fans, and I'm sure you know a lot of people who are sports fans. I was not one of them, so I never imagined or desired to get involved in sports as a career. As Eric mentioned, my day job was in a family real estate firm, which I'm still involved in. I now spend about a third of my time on real estate and the company, a third on the Sky, and a third on the nonprofit, philanthropic stuff like City that I'm involved in. But I got involved in the family real estate business and had no intention whatsoever of getting involved in sports, but sometimes things kind of fall in your path and you decide whether to go ahead or not. So I got to introduced to the WNBA very sort of serendipitously. I went to law school with a guy named Adam Silver, who was a good friend of mine. Adam went on to go over the NBA and was deputy commissioner for a long time. And now he's the commissioner, but when he was deputy 15 plus years ago, he used to always invite me to come to NBA All-Star and all these activities, and I never went because I never really cared. But when I had children, and one of my sons is a lot bigger fan than I am, when I came home with the invitation, he said, "Wow, can we go? Let's go." So of course I said, "Sure." So I went, and at this event, I had the opportunity to be introduced to two incredible women that I met, and found out that they played professional basketball in a league that I didn't even know existed, the WNBA. And just that kept me, I was just found these women to be really impressive, remarkable, intelligent women, and started asking about the league and how long it's been around, and why isn't it in Chicago? Chicago's a trade sports town, and one thing led to another, and I learned more about how the league was formed. And Chicago did not have a team because the owners of the Bulls, the Reinsdorf family, still owners of the Bulls, were not interested in the way the league kind of was formed. Was really going through NBA owners at that time. So I really felt, I was very surprised about that when I heard that this league, I think it had been around maybe 7, 8 years at that point in time, which I had never heard of, which also I was embarrassed about. And I really felt, as a lifetime Chicagoan, knowing how important sports is to Chicago and what a great sports city is, that it just was kind of, infallible to me that Chicago did not have, it was not part of this league. And as I looked a little more in terms of what this league represents, in terms of the values that it promotes, and it just seemed to me that something had to be done about that. That Chicago needed to be part of this league. It was too important not to be. So that's kind of how I got myself into it. I put together a group of other individuals. Right now, the main partners are myself and John Rogers, who you may know from Aerial Capital Management. Unlike me, John is a crazy, huge basketball nut. So he had those additional reasons, but what really brought John and the rest of us together was really the values of what this league represents and what these women represent. They're some of the greatest women athletes in the world, and this is a tremendous platform for them to show what they have. But since day one, the inception of this guy, we've always had the thoughts that we want to be very much part of this community, that we're not just giving these women an opportunity to play professional sports, but we're also, we're changing culture, we're changing perceptions about how people perceive women athletes, particularly women team athletes. And candidly, aside from we still have a long way to go, which is why the WNBA. I didn't ask you about. I will ask you. So how many of you have been to a Bulls game at some point in time? Okay. So you ask yourself, how many of you who whether you're big sports fans, big basketball fans, I don't know, but you've been to games on the Bulls side. Much fewer percentage have been to the women's game. We've now been in Chicago 14 years. So. If you ask yourself why, and I'll let you answer for yourselves as to what those answers are, but we still have a long way for our businesses and our companies and to take women's professional teams, and particularly women's basketball, seriously. We made tremendous headway in terms of where we're going, but as I said, we still have a ways to go. And it was somewhat of a surprise to me, because candidly, when I started out with this guy, I thought it would be kind of a no-brainer that you've got companies, major companies in Chicago who are spending, I'm not even talking about sponsorships, but just in terms of buying tickets, hospitality, buying boxes, buying season tickets. And your companies, whether you own them or where you work, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on these types of things. And I thought, to get every company would be, to spend a fraction of that to support the women's basketball team would be, like I said, kind of a no-brainer. Why would you do that? So he's talking about diversity, inclusion, and trying to create a culture that to attract and retain employees, that this would be very simple. But sadly, I realize it's not quite as simple as I thought it would be, and it's taken us a while to get that message across. And we, I think, are in a very strong position right now. Being back in the city has been a real plus for us, because we were in Allstate Arena for 10 years or so, which was a nice place to be, but it's, it kind of separated us from Chicago, and we weren't really as well integrated the city as we want to be. So moving back there, moving back here has really helped quite a bit, and it's created a lot of excitement, particularly in the South Loop area, but also allowed us to re-engage with a lot of corporate sponsors who didn't really feel as tight a commitment with us in Rosemont. The other thing that's really played a great role as we've evolved and grown is we've really built out a lot of platforms in the community, and this has been I think a real attraction to a lot of our sponsors as well. So, as I said, from the very beginning, we saw ourselves, we still do, as very much based in the community, very much a part of the community. And so we've made a very, concerted effort, and frankly, because of the players that we have and the type of people that they are and the way they look at it, they're just as committed to this mission as we are. We've been able to do a remarkable amount of work in the community. So to give you just a few examples, we have a number of platforms that we use, things that you would probably expect, like women's health and wellness, and women's empowerment. So we do a lot of clinics all over the city. We do a lot of work with working with corporations in terms of diversity things, and with our medical partner, which is Chicago Medicine and health and wellness stuff. And so we're very involved in. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but the number of time that our athletes and our coaches and our staff spend in the community is really pretty remarkable, while at the same time running the business and playing the game. So those are a couple of initiatives. A couple that I'm especially excited about that we've been doing just lately is last year, and we'll continue this year, we started, again, using our platform of our team and our players and everything just to get the word out, to organize how we held a summit last year to help juveniles get their criminal records expunged on a new law that was passed by the state of Illinois to help make that happen. As I'm sure you're all aware, if you have a criminal record, it's very difficult to get jobs, very difficult to get a lot of things, and the state has made that easier for juveniles who, where the crime is not a really tremendously serious felony. But the process for making it happen has been, as you also not be surprised to hear, very cumbersome, very bureaucratic, and it takes a lot of work and usually need a lawyer. And so there's been literally a handful of people who've taken advantage of it. So we created a summit last year, which we'll repeat in January, where we brought together the clerk's office with all the records that the young people need to have their rap sheets and the records. We've got the legal community to give us a number of lawyers to come to this summit to actually make it a one-stop shopping. Then there's an adjudication process as part of this as well. So we need to have a judge available to sort of approve the paperwork. So this is something we did last spring. Oh, was it October? Yeah. Okay, last October. We're going to have a bigger event in January. So it's a very big undertaking. We're very excited about it. And then the other thing I'll just mention quickly, because Marshall was asking about your summer internship program. So 2 summers ago, we started we have interns all the time, and so we always have from the very beginning. And for those of you who have any familiar with sports, probably more so than any profession I'm aware of, an internship really is a pathway to a job. There are, I don't know the percentages, but a really high percentage of people who work in sports started out as interns. And that's not just on the business side, that's even on the basketball head coaches in the NBA who were interns at one point. It's just the way, it's just always the way it is, But unfortunately, if you're from a low-income community, and mostly, I should say, almost always these internships are unpaid. So, as we saw this happening with the Sky, that a lot of our staff were coming from the internship ranks, which we were very excited about. We thought we were excluding a large population who weren't able to afford working on for nothing. So we started last summer a program for low-income interns, which we were paying them for a 9-week program that we had developed for them. And I think we had 20 last summer, and what did we have this summer? 25 this summer. So we were able, we funded this through our sponsors and our relationships with our community partners that we work with all the time, and very excited about that program. The woman who now runs our foundation, Chicago Sky Cares Foundation, started out as an internship at one point. We have a number of people who have. So those are just a couple examples of the kind of initiatives that we've undertaken in terms of for the work that we're doing. What to tell you? Yes.
There are some teachers, my wife among them,
Yeah.
say that sports are overemphasized for
Yeah.
young people
Okay.
as opposed to academics. How do you respond to that?
Well, first of all, my wife would agree with me. My poor wife, who does not get sports at all. God bless her. She's been in almost every game for the last 14 years. So, first of all, I don't disagree with that. Having said that, I do think sports, as I said earlier, has, because it has that tug on us, whatever it is, and whatever the psychology behind it is, I don't really know exactly. Our view is, well, let's use that for good and as a stepping stone to other things. So it's not just about the sports. The sports is really just a means to things that are much better, much more meaningful, or for some people more meaningful. I shouldn't be so for sure, but to people like your wife and like my wife, who feel that we as a society spend way too much time, way too much money, way too much angst on something as insignificant as balls and people running around doing stuff. That's why we see it as a platform for all these other things. We're not going to sort of fight that battle of what the right balance is, let people make that decision themselves, but as long as we're doing it, we want to make sure that there's other things that are going on about that.
Also, in women's, in the professional league, most of our more than 80% of our players in